When adding complex numbers, all you have to do is you put like terms together. So number 1, when it's 10 minus 22i plus 22i, the negative 22i and the positive 22i would cancel out, and leaving the answer to be positive 10. In number 2, where it's 5 plus 6i plus 7 minus 3i, you put the 5 and the 7 together, equaling out to be 12, and the 6i plus the negative 3i giving you the answer of positive 3i. When subtracting complex numbers, you also have to put the like terms together, except you take the negative that's in between the parentheses and you distribute it out to the second parentheses, which would make the negative 9 a positive 9, and the positive 2i a negative 2i. And once you have distributed the negative, you have to put the like terms together, so you put the 18 and you add it to the positive 9, making it 27, and then the negative 40i, and then you add it to the negative 2i, making it negative 42i. In number 2, you would do the exact same thing and distribute the negative as well. So the 29 would be negative 29, and the 32i would become negative 32i. And then once you've distributed the negative, you do the same and put the like terms together. So you add the negative 19 and the negative 29, which would be negative 48. And then you take the positive 7i and the negative 32i, and it would be negative 25i. And that would give you the answer for number 2. In number 1, how 4 minus 7i is squared, you would have to FOIL it out. So it would be 4 minus 7i times 4 minus 7i. And now when you multiply complex numbers, you just do FOIL. So it would be 4 times 4, which would be positive 16. And then 4 times negative 7i giving you negative 28i. And negative 7i times positive 4, which would give you another negative 28i. And negative 7i times negative 7i giving you positive 49i squared. And now you do the same as addition, and you put the like terms together. So it would be 16 minus 28 plus negative 28, which would give you negative 56i, and then since the I squared turns into 1, it'd be negative 49, and then you do 16 plus minus the 49, giving you negative 33, and the negative 56i would stay the same. So in number 2, you do the same thing. You would have to FOIL. So 6 times 2 giving you positive 12, and then 6 times negative 3i giving you negative 18i. Then negative 5i times 2 giving you negative 10i. Negative 5i times negative 3i, which would be positive 15i squared. And then you put the like terms together, so it would be 12 negative 18 plus negative 10, negative 28, and then the 15 would go negative because of the I squared, so negative 15. So then you do 12 minus 15, giving you negative 3, and the negative 28i would stay the same. When dividing complex numbers, you take the bottom complex number and you multiply it times the conjugate, which changes the sign in the middle, so it'd be 2 plus 3i, and then you would FOIL that out, giving you 2 times 2, 4, and then plus 6i minus 6i, and negative I squared. So then you take the negative I squared, you take it to a positive, the 6i and the negative 6i would cancel out, so it'd be 4 plus 9, giving you 13 as a denominator. And then you do the same on the top, you take the conjugate and you FOIL it out, and then 7 times 2, giving you 14, and then 7 times 3i, giving you 21i. Negative 6 times 2, give you negative 12i, and then negative 6 times 3i, giving you negative 18i squared. And then you do the same thing, giving you the 18i would become positive. So you do negative 18i squared would become positive, so 14 plus 18 giving you 32 on the top, and the 21i minus 12i giving you plus 9i on the top as well. And then you separate them, so it'd be 32 over 13 plus 9 over 13i. And that'd be the answer for number 1. So number 2, we do the same. We multiply times the conjugate, which would be 2 minus 4i, changing the sign in the middle. And then you do FOIL on the bottom, so it'd be 2 times 4 giving you 4, 2 times 2 giving you 4, 2 times negative 4i giving you negative 8i, 4i times 2, which would be positive 8i, and 4i times negative 4i giving you negative 16i squared. The negative 8i and the positive 8i would cancel out, and the 16i would become positive, so it'd be 4 plus 16 giving you 20 on the bottom. And then you do the same on the top, multiplying it times the conjugate of 2 minus 4i. So 3 times 2 giving you 6, and 3 times negative 4i giving you negative 12i. 5i times 2, 10i, and 5 times negative 4i giving you negative 20i on the top, I squared. And then you put like terms together, so the negative 20i would become positive, so 6 plus 20 would be 26, and the negative 10 plus the 10i, negative 12i plus 10i, which would give you negative 2i, and then you separate them and simplify, so it'd be 26 over 20 minus 2i over 20, and then the answer would be, so because you simplify, it'd be 13 over 10, and it'd be negative 1 over 10i. When solving a quadratic equation, you have to use the quadratic equation, which would be negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c divided by 2 times a. So when solving this problem, you have to identify a, b, and c, which would be a would be 1, b would be 4, and c would be 5. And then you plug it into the quadratic equation, so it'd be negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 5 over 2 times 1, and then you solve that, so it would be negative 4 plus or minus square root of 16 minus 4 times 1 times 5, which would be negative 20 over 2, and then solve again, so negative 4 plus or minus square root of negative 4 over 2, and then the negative 4 in the square root would simplify to be, it would be negative 4 plus or minus 2i, negative 4 plus or minus 2i over 2, and then you simplify that even more, so it'd be negative 2 plus or minus just I. And that'd be your answer for your quadratic with complex solutions.